Welcome, geeks, gamers, furries, and ninja robots. This is HorsePLAY Live. Today is Saturday, February 3rd, and this is episode 215 of HorsePLAY. We're tentatively titling this one, Raging Bushnell and Monster Hunter Game of the Year. Yep. That's my story, and I'm sticking with it. Now, I wanted to go deep on this. This is probably going to just be a prelude to what we'll be discussing more the next episode, before we finally get around to the unicorn poopies and round everybody up. I'm going to try to make this a quick run through. Because I just found out that we're all getting up early tomorrow and cleaning the house and doing all this stuff before we go out for a family gathering. And I tell you, family's great, but one thing that's really tough to do as a family is time management. I'm a stickler for that, and they're probably tired of hearing it. But I think it's fair if I ask the question, hey, what are our plans for tomorrow? I'm just doing this, and then we're gonna do this, and then we'll all go to this. Okay. And do you need me to do anything in the morning? Say anything, and then I make my own plans. I'm drinking. I'm thinking, do the podcast, and then play a little Monster Hunter, and then get up at a decent hour, but I sleep in a little bit, 9, 10. That's sad. That's sleeping in for me these days, because logistics world loves it's all facets of supply chain management. Loves the early hours, 4, 5 a.m. It's like, ooh, it's military time right there. But folks, we are well. First of all, I'm gonna introduce myself. I am Yogizilla, your bald bear lizard host. We're continuing our 3+ years, well over 3 years now, Jesus, and over 200 episodes, celebrating that. You keep bringing you really awkward episodes until we figure out a few details how the future of this show would look like, whether we're gonna stick with the Thursday night schedule, or maybe I was leaning towards Friday nights, but now for me, my personal life, and also Beard weekends are tough for him. I think we might have to shoot for an earlier time in the week, because on the weekends, and weekends for us kind of start on Thursday nights. We have the grandkids, and I know I sound young, but I'm an old fart, folks, and let's try to stay youthful though. I'm not completely at the get off my lawn stage just yet, but I definitely find myself being more irritable, that's for sure. But I think Wednesday nights around 10 might be the thing. But for now, we're just gonna rotate it, get it in when we can. I meant to get this particular episode on Thursday, but then the kids were being rowdy, and it was just too many things going on. And between the fact that it's draining being around the youth that have so much energy, and just the fact that it was just too loud to really concentrate. And I gotta change this slideshow, because as much as I love the holidays, I think we're a little past that. So we should probably do this right here. Ah, shit, I can't do that. See, this is quality. People listening on the audio feeds are gonna be like, what is he doing? Because we do this show over at live, the video component, twitch.tv/geeky antics. And for the foreseeable future, who knows? Will we end up on YouTube gaming? YouTube Red? I don't know how that works. Or Mixer. Mixer would probably be the next natural route. My son was just telling me that YouTube's got a really good thing. If you get just 10,000 subscribers and 20,000 views a day, you'll be set for life. He makes it sound like it's so easy. Like, like all you gotta do is be really engaging, and people magically find you. If only he knew that the effort you gotta put in to really hit it, and a lot of it, I'm telling you folks, is just luck. People love to tell you that, oh well, it's because I had a business plan, and I'm doing something different that no one else is doing. But the best content usually gets buried, and that's no matter what you're doing. Um, I'm being salty, I know. No hate, no hate. Congrats to the people that made it. But I'm just saying that for me, that seems like a lot of work. So probably not gonna happen. Now, where do I have this slideshow? Where did I put it? It's in here, right? Yeah, that's it. I got it. The HorsePLAY slideshow. Yeah. Now that's more appropriate. I mean, I could do Christmas all year long, but people are probably gonna start looking at YouTube and Twitch and like, what's this guy doing with all this Christmas stuff at this time of the year? It's February. That's crazy. It's February already. January was a blur, and then February is a short month. Like, oh man, where did he catch up? But anyway, this show is live at twitch.tv/geeky antics. And usually you could join us Thursday nights at 11 p.m. Eastern, 8 p.m. Pacific, 4 a.m. GMT. And if you can't join us live, there's lots of ways to connect with us. geekyantics.net/Discord. Our blog, which I'm trying to get some regular contributions. So if you're interested in contributing, let us know. It's a good exposure for you, and it keeps the site fresh. We get good traffic, but it's sad, we're not keeping this up to date. That's geekyantics.net/blog. And I'm at Yogizilla on Twitter, and Yogizilla on Xbox Live. And of course the network, you can reach our whole community at Geeky Antics, and we got the Facebook stuff too, all the Geeky Antics groups, and of course the official page, Geeky Antics Network Global, the gang. And if you're new to this show, just so you know what we're about, we lean pretty heavily on the gaming stuff, but it's everything geeky. I'd probably, if I had to categorize this, I think a primary category these days would be comedy. And it's definitely NSFW, so proceed at your own risk. But come along for the ride, have fun, and hopefully you're not easily offended. So a lot of things going on. Beard and Hat, who's now Taylor7 on Twitch. Make sure you check him out. Recently added to the Twitch affiliate program. Proud of him. His brother Obi1X2, one of our original hosts. Another one was Soldierism, who's gone off on a pilgrimage somewhere. I don't know. I know he grew a very long beard. I think he's living in the mountains. And once in a while he gets online, something like that. But something's going on. Yeah, I probably shouldn't read that on the air. That sounds rough, man. Dun dun dun. Don't worry, it's gonna be a quick show anyway. I want to try to make it quick because I gotta get up early. Apparently, you missed my rant. Last minute changes. Yay. I'm pretty not inebriated, but I feel nice. So I can't really be real angry. But I'll rant anyway. And yeah, you always blame your children. That's your privilege and your right as a parent. They gotta be worth something, right? They sure cost us a lot. Bless their hearts. I haven't looked at the latest numbers on the hashtag Kelly versus Kelly poll, but make sure you go over there on the blog and cast your vote. Which Kelly you prefer? And someone out there's gonna be some message that was like, "Oh, objectification of women." We're just having fun. It's not serious. Stop it. I know a lot of folks are really excited about the tax break. I know, and then any extra money is good, right? So I think, if you're a responsible adult, you go, bigger check, I'm going to spend more money, right? No. If you're responsible, you say, well, I'm going to pretend I don't have that money and, invest it, cryptocurrency, gold, I don't know. That's probably the most future-proof kind of things I would think. Better than the stock market or 401ks. Those returns aren't that great. Unless you're very lucky. And gambling, stay away from that. Slippery slope. So some people are really good at that stuff too. Um, set it aside, save it at the very least. Send it out there. Put it in a Roth HR IRA, so you're some retirement funds. But let's be honest, most of us are probably just spending like free money. Wait, something Trump did that isn't hated? Oh, let's now open up that can of worms. That's a Christmas miracle. Ah, that's such a good thing to tie in, especially since I just changed the slideshow back to the traditional slideshow and away from the Christmas slideshow. I love you, man. We're at the same wavelength, even when you're not actually live on the air. See, this is why you be here live, because it's not like I'm talking to myself, but it's actually someone in the chat that I'm talking with. I'm not crazy. Well, not completely. Yet, shenanigans. Having Trump as president is interesting. That's all I'm gonna say. I'm not gonna get into the whole thing right now. One of these days you'll dig deep into the politics of alien all your friends. Yeah. Yeah. All I will say, I wanted to say this. I still think Trump is a deplorable human being. His mannerisms are infuriating. He's got no filter. I get it. I see why people hate him. But initially I was not really big on him. It was like, Hillary Clinton or Donald Trump. They both seem like shitty options. And I've said this on the air. And, it makes some people say, oh, you're flip-flopping now. Well, no. I never was really sold on anything. But now seeing him in action, having tangible results, he's actually getting stuff done. And he's actually following through the things that he promised. So people can say, oh, because Obama got it in motion and blah, blah, blah. I'm not going to get into the arguments. But things are happening and, good stuff. Don't take it for granted, though. Because a melt up could be just as bad, if not worse, than a melt down. And if you know anything about economics, rather, that probably makes sense to you. So, there's been a few headlines in the news. I'm going to go real quick on it. So as far as the tax breaks, folks should be seeing those. If you haven't already, about 2 to 4 weeks from when you listen to this episode. Maybe sooner. So that's exciting. Some folks are saying they're already seeing $85 more on their check if they're getting paid weekly. More if you're getting paid bi-weekly, So, some good stuff. Beard says if he builds the wall and tightens immigration and hurts the outsourcing of jobs, I'm sold. I still don't like his foreign policies. I'm with you on that, 100%. Chain immigration, really bad. The wall, I'll take it or leave it. I think it's just a matter of not allowing people that come here legally to stay, And as far as the dreamers, well, some can stay, make it do a lottery, so you appease the bleeding hearts. We are an immigrant nation, but we taxpayers can't give everybody a free ride. It's just eventually something's got to give. Money's got to come out of nowhere. Mexico needs as much as we do. Yeah. Yeah. No, zero stay. Well, deep down inside, that's probably what I would say. But you know that it'll be a deadlock if you try to pass a bill like that. DACA has to pass in some form, or else the Democrats are gonna cross their arms and be big babies and say, "No, this is what we want. We're gonna shut down the government if you do it." So there's gotta be some middle ground, When you think about it, just talk about hundreds of thousands of people, and I think now it's in the numbers in millions. I don't know, they can't make it in their mind. But even if it's just, let's say 800,000 people, that's a lot of money. If you think about all the benefits that go behind that, you cut that in half, it's still a lot, but it's better than the full number. I don't know. So illegals are more important than actual citizens? Yes. I don't know. Millions don't care. They can leave. Yeah. This is the one thing I will say. and before we move on, is there are immigrants out there. There's quite a few. They don't get hurt as much. Um, but they realize that the reason they came to this country is to, chase a dream, right? The American dream, the elusive American dream. And they did it legitimately, and they went through the proper process, right? They paid their dues. So why can't other people do that? What is my cat doing? She's just tripping out over there. So there's people that have come out and say, hey, all these illegal immigrants need to go back home, because if we just take everybody, we're gonna fuck up the country to the point it'll be worse than the country we try to seek refuge from. And it's simple logic, but how can people see that? We don't have unlimited resources to just carry the weight of the world on us. It's unrealistic. So that's it. They bring the third world. There is no magic sword. They bring the third world with them. Yeah. And it's sad when you call government agencies and the first option for language is Spanish. And this is coming from a Latino. It's like, no, this is America. It's the United States. Speak English, damn it. That's another slap in the face. You're gonna come here, pay taxes like the rest of us do, contribute to society in meaningful ways, and learn the fucking language. Can't be here 10, 15 years and still go, no speak the English. What the fuck is that shit? Anyway. So another big thing in the news. Let's go through a couple of these, and we'll come back through these to these next week, hopefully. But the whole "not Nolan" hashtag, which spawned out of the whole hashtag Me Too. Yeah, Me Too. That Me Too thing is taking a lot of victims, and I understand there's a big problem with sexual misconduct, and everything that's entailed in that, and it is an issue that needs to be addressed. But now I think we're getting to the point where people are just gonna complain about everything. He gave me a compliment and called me sweetie, and it made me very uncomfortable. Oh boy. Yeah, Me Too is more of a fake witch hunt at this point. Yeah. And that's the thing. Now it's starting. If it hasn't already, it's definitely heading that direction where it's just like ridiculous. Everybody's, and the whole hashtag tells you everything. Me Too. That's a hashtag. It's like that's been tainted now. Like it could have been something else. What can it be so positive? Now it's just like, come here to complain about people that made you feel uncomfortable. And I'm sure there's legitimate stories in there, but it's just a bad. The way they structured it was just bound to go bad, Me too. Someone made me feel uncomfortable too. Me too. It's just, more complaining, more whining. And I'm not saying that there's not legitimacy in there, but we're gonna get a lot of people just making up stories just to get attention and maybe get some free money, and get some sympathy, get in the limelight, But yeah, apparently Nolan Bushnell, many people just consider the granddaddy of video games, and he's the guy that created Pong, and his company eventually was sold off and became Atari. And we'll come back to that. He got denied the GDC Lifetime Achievement Award for apparent hot tub shenanigans. And now people are saying, not you too, Nolan. You're our hero. And the thing about it is, we hold famous people to these high standards that we don't hold ourselves to. Because, there needs to be a line drawn, like harmless flirting, colorful language, or someone actually really, really crossing a line and being aggressive and forcing themselves on people. There's a difference. This Nolan thing is such a shit show. There's zero evidence of it being non-consensual. Yeah, and I like the people that stepped up, that were some of the early people in the Atari, saying how when they first met Nolan, like they were all Atari folks, Atari proper folks. The founders were like suit and tie type of folks, and Nolan was like t-shirt and jeans kind of guy. And then when I first met him, he wore his shirt, a t-shirt apparently said, "I love to fuck." That's hilarious. What else would you expect from someone who's a rebel and just created his own industry essentially? Pioneers, geniuses. They're a little crazy, and usually in a good way. Well, maybe not all the time, but a good amount of the time. So people don't like that. Where did Blue go? I don't know what she's doing. So yeah, it's a big shit show. Uh, I'm sure that there were some things he did as inappropriate. Apparently, he used to always hang out in his hot tub and call his female assistants over and try to lure them in. And Nolan's been quoted supposedly as saying, women are very intimidated by my air of power and money. So he's definitely full of himself, but he's not the only one. You know, rich people, powerful people tend to live by different rules than we do, and now we're shocked by this that has been going on all along since the beginning of mankind. I'm not saying it justifies the behavior, but I mean, you meet any people that are sea level folks that have been at sea level for a long time, and I'm at the sea level now, but since I don't have that air to me, a lot of times people wouldn't consider me that because I'm not a douchebag, and I've taken pay cuts and bounced around just to break out of the routine and not fall into the trap of just being that sea level douchebag that just delegates stuff and is just parks like an asshole, drives like an asshole, cuts in line, just doesn't have any real social skills. There's a certain kind of sociopathic behavior that I think is inherent with a lot of wealthy and powerful folks. Um, so again, not justifying it, but I dare you to name me 10 people that are extremely successful that have built a legacy of some sort and don't possess some kind of douchebaggery, male or female. Good luck. But burning down the white man who created things is the new pastime. Is he wrong? No, he's not wrong. He's not wrong for saying what he said. People are intimidated by that. Because if he was a loser, that didn't accomplish anything, no one would be going after him. So, yeah, he's just kind of pervy. He's flirty, he's inappropriate. Big deal, right? So, of course, people of power are going to be targeted. That kind of comes with the turf, right? You get to ride the coattails, like, ooh, now my name's being associated with that person too. Yay! When they get Googled, my name will come up too, and then maybe I could sell this hair product that I have. I know that sounds terribly sexist. I don't know. Just throwing it out there. And again, I'm not saying that there are some cases that are legit, but I'm scared for what the rest of this year will bring. There's gonna be a lot more claims. You know, next up is pretty soon we're gonna hear Tom Hanks. Let's think about like really nice guys or people that at least seem like nice guys. You know, and they're gonna get called out. Who else? Who was that? Will Smith. That's gonna be another target. That's right. I'm selling hair products for bald people. It makes the scalp soft and it keeps the peach fuzz fresh. Another thing that came up in the news. This came out a while ago, but now they had a new update. That 15-year-old girl. I missed this. Or maybe I forgot about it. That had lured a classmate along with one of her friends that helped her out and stabbed that classmate 14 times to appease Slender Man. Apparently, she's been sentenced to 40 years in a mental hospital. Interesting. Very interesting. This is the world we live in now. There's some cockamamie shit going on. And hold on, I'm gonna track down the cat. I hear her messing with something. Blue. I think she found a box and she's beating it up. She's a little ninja over there. But anyway, the main thing I want to talk about, moving away from the news, I'm gonna keep it as simple as possible. Try not to splooge. But I gotta say, if Monster Hunter World is a preview of things to come with the gaming industry, I'm excited again. I'm almost Atari 2600, NES, maybe even Genesis era excited for gaming. And I would say, Genesis was like the peak in many ways. Arcade scene was bustling. Fighting games were really becoming a thing. And just it was a fun experience with the couch co-op and competitive gaming. Having friends over. It's a different thing than what we have now. But Taylor saying that Monster Hunter World still isn't on his radar. And I'm sure it's not for a lot of people. Because I tell you, when I first started off on last Friday, was it 26th, would have released. I got it. And getting into an online session, I could not get into this online session. So I had to keep creating my own. A lot of it's because of level gating. But you could play pretty much the whole, as far as I've seen, the whole game. You could do it co-op style. Tons of side stuff you could do. There's an arena you could battle in. You could go. There's like a social hub like they have in Destiny. You could arm wrestle. You could trade certain items. There's a lot of shit you could do. You bought Monster Hunter 3 twice to try it. And not a single Monster Hunter game did it for Taylor, apparently. And this one is no different. I gotta tell you, I didn't really get into other Monster Hunter games because they were on Nintendo platforms, so I was like, eh. But we have real online now, and I'm loving it. And even as a single player experience, fantastic. I'm past 30 hours in the game. And I've pretty much played every night this week except for yesterday because the day just got away from me. And I was busy at work and kids were acting crazy. And they just drained me. I was like, I just need to go to bed. I'm drained. I think kids just siphon power from me. And that's why they're bouncing all over the place. Meanwhile, they're just sucking your soul away. But this game is fantastic. Every weapon in the game has different combos and a distinct kind of playing style. You could go full support. You could be DPS. You could tank. There's all kind of things you could do. And I'm still early on enough where, because I'm milking the shit out of it and keep chasing squirrels. So I really should be hunter rating 10 or 11 right now. I'm only hunter rating 5. I'm okay with that. But the around hunter rating 8 or 9 is when you start getting armor with slots in it, so you could put gems in it or whatever they call them, kind of Diablo-ish there, and you could get charms and mantles that buff your skills and certain stats and your affinities. I still don't understand completely how affinities work. And this is the thing about the game. It has a steep learning curve, which isn't actually very accurate, because a steep learning curve would actually mean that it's easy to learn if you really think about it. I guess a quick learning experience. That's anything but that. But anyway, you know what I mean. And that's what the vernacular would dictate anyway. That it's a steep means. Steep learning curve means you have to put in the time. It takes a while. But if you look at the X and Y axis, that's not actually true. But anyway, math and stuff. Visual aids. Back to the other rants at hand, like my gushing over this game. Um, I was worried that the novelty of giant monsters crashing in and mounting them and beating the ever living shit out of them and breaking body parts off so you collect them and use them for crafting. I thought all those little things, all the the collectathon of gathering ingredients and building up your resources so you can craft stuff. It's a bit of a grind, but it's a fun grind. And then you could now all these other things are opening up. You have a canteen where they cook you meals and that gets upgraded. You have a garden where you could cultivate stuff and put fertilizer so you could grow things. So instead of just gathering, you could grow those things. And keep it grows passively. So you go back and there might be more stuff waiting for you. There's just so much depth, and I think if anything, people might be intimidated by it because out the gate, you're like, what the fuck do I do? And then you start learning the nuances. But my experience has been with, I haven't really had to ask questions or refer to online resources or anything. I think the game does a good job and introduces you to everything. And rather than having a long, drawn-out tutorial, it just gives you tooltips along the way. And as it introduces a new mechanic, new feature, there's some reading to do, and I feel they do a good job of reinforcing it through other things. So I keep discovering new things about the game, and I'm like, ooh, I could do that. Like now, I started off with the longsword. That's really fun. It's probably one of the easiest weapons to do, along with the dual wield, depending if you're like a fast fighter or you want more distance. I tried pretty much every weapon out there. There's range weapons. You can use a bow gun. What's the other one? The bow gun, bow and arrow. There's another one. And there's completely different mechanics for that. The companion, the palico, is basically a cat. You can outfit your companions to do different things. You could run into other companions that will join you. That they're friends, companions that will be AI controlled, and then you build a little party up. It's a lot of little shit you could do, man. And now I was using the switch sword, or is this switch axe? They're getting mixed up. That thing was OP as fuck, but really complicated to use. And now I'm using the insect glaive, and that thing is fun because you can freaking mark the enemies with gunk, and then the insects attack those areas to soften them up. And all the insects have different effects, different attack types. Blunt, severing, etc. You could set them up with different elements, so there's additional actions, additional damage done. And it's just crazy. And with the insect glaive, you could do these vaults, and then like double jump, and then like spin attack in the air, and you're flying all over the place. Because if you hit a target, you can bounce off of them and keep flying, and just like air attack, kind of juggling yourself while attacking the same target or different targets, and it's crazy. It feels to me it's like this. It's like being in an anime. It's just out of control. In a lot of ways, it's got the polish and aesthetics of a Final Fantasy game to me. Then like some of the core mechanics of like a Far Cry or Assassin's Creed. Almost bordering a real fighting game with some of the combos you could do. And it's very fluid once you get the hang of it. And it also makes you think a lot of Evolve. What Evolve could have been if they launched that game properly and did it right to begin with. Because you can set up traps. Everybody kind of gets their own different roles. The only difference is the monster is not player controlled. They're AI. And you can either slay monsters or you can capture them. And it's just really neat, like all the different things you gotta do, to track them down, research them, find out their weak points, etc. It's just to be caught up in turf wars where 2 or 3 or more monsters are fighting each other. You might be fighting a monster, and all of a sudden another one butts in, and he might help you out, or he might turn on you, and they might double team you. Like, it's crazy. And like the stronger monsters, the smaller ones, the weaker ones will usually run away. You know, but they can sense when the creature's weak, like if it's limping or something or bleeding out, and then they might get tough and be like, "Oh, I could take you on now." So little thing like that is just, it's fucking fun. It's such a nice change of pace. And the thing that kills me again is that, you know, I reached out to my friends, you know, and say, "Hey, get into Xbox One. I hope you do too." So many of my friends got on that PS4. They're like, "Oh, does anyone have this? I want someone to play with." Well, why'd you get it on fucking PS4? We have a whole bunch of people that are playing on Xbox One. So now you just segregated yourself. Whatever. If you want to play single player, go for it. Good choice. For those of you on Xbox One, add me, Yogizilla. And I named my first character after one of my favorite porn stars. So you might appreciate that, folks. I wonder how many people have caught on to that. No, Xbox not trash. Your face is trash. You know, if you like online gaming, you don't go on a system that people don't really play online. Oh, I went there. I used to get why PS4 player gamers do that. They have an Xbox. A lot of my friends have Xbox One. They have all the consoles, and they constantly complain they never have anyone on PS4 to play online games with. But they keep getting the game for that system. Why? Because it looks better. Yeah, you keep telling yourself that. People are funny. People are funny. I guess it's just human nature to just want to have something to complain about. You do own a Wii U, yeah. So your credibility goes out the window if you own a Wii U. But anyway, I see. Wii U's unique. You took a gamble. Yeah, you have no interest in online games anymore, so yeah, you definitely did not participate in this conversation. I gotta say, single player in the game is fun, but if you're really heavy in story, probably not gonna excite you. It's not gonna blow your socks off. But I see myself excited about what's happening next. But I'm more in there for the experience of just having a fun time hunting. So I'll go on these investigations. I'll go fight in an arena. You know, I'll chase those squirrels because it's fun. Not because I'm a completionist, but it's actually fun. I'm not trying to 100% it. It's just a good time. And it's also really satisfying to just grind it out and be over geared and watch your party wipe and you're like still alive, you know. Of course, that's bad when you have limited continues. But yeah, you have jump. It is jump in, jump out gameplay, so that's cool. You know, you can fire SOS flare and then basically open up the session for people to come into and help you out. That's fun too. And it's cool. What's interesting is it was happening in real time. So if you get hit while you're trying to fire off that flare, you know, you're fucked. So you gotta find cover, try to hide, and then do it. So you know, there's a lot of shit your pants moment. But yeah, there's a good story in there. It's a good story. I'm enjoying it. I don't want to give it away. But you know, is it story driven? Nah, I wouldn't say that's the main appeal. But I think it's satisfying enough where I'm like, well, what's gonna happen next? Okay, I know the story isn't ending here. It's only opening up, but you know how sometimes it is you know, the story, video game stories, like they make it seem like this is what we're looking for. This is what your goal, and you're like, well, I'm only a few hours in, so this can't be it. And you're like, oh no, we were wrong. This isn't the ultimate boss. There's 20 other bosses you have to fight. Oh, something like that's gonna happen, and I'm okay with that. I'm only in the second. I've only opened up the second major area. I will say this. Oh yeah, this is worth saying. It is open world, but not in the way you think. It's not on rails. You do have freedom, but when you go on most of your quests, it's gonna be timed. With the exception if you go out on an expedition, that's a whole different way of playing. That's kind of your free roam mode. But it's not one huge world. It's the world is separated to shards. So that's something worth noting. But these areas are big enough, and there's enough stuff to do in there that really not. I don't think anyone should complain about it. I don't say you could, but I'm sure someone has. Someone will. So Monster Hunter World, give it a look. See, red box it. GameFly. Apparently, people still have that. Whatever way you borrow it from a friend, you know. I see a lot of replay value because even if you hit the highest level, I'm sure they're gonna come out with some additional content. And if they treat this as a platform where they keep just releasing new content and new level caps, I'm in. If not, I'll be more than happy to create another sexy female character to oogle and then start all over again. That is, if nothing else pulls me away. And now Rainbow Six Siege had this thing about a space capsule, and I'm like, ooh, things just got even more interesting. That's another one of my all-time favorite games. Definitely one of the best games this generation, hands down. Gaming as a platform, games as a platform. I dig that model. So there's potential here for this to have some real staying power. There are definitely some things they could tweak. Make it less janky, trying to squad up, or have people join your session or join other people's sessions. There's lots of different paths you could take there and get a little confusing. There's little things, quality of life type of things, like inventory management, right? Just as an example, that'd be nice. You can't see other players in your session unless you go into the gathering hub, the social area, or actually go off on a quest together. But you can have it looks like you can have up to 16 people in the session, and you can all go off. I've had about 8 at most in one time, and you can go off as separate quests, individual quests, different group quests. And there are some things you can only do with 2 people. Some things you can do with 4, some with more. So I'm just trying to think, like, I can only imagine how tough a battle where you have 16 people in your squad will be, because the enemies definitely scale significantly based upon how many people are in your party and the hunter ratings. Because there was one enemy I was able to take on a full yoga flame style attack. I'm like, nothing. Easy peasy. My fire resistance is high. That's Anjanath. He's basically a giant T-Rex with a fluffy back, and an attack that does not discriminate against anyone. He'll chase whatever looks like fun, and if you hit him, he's definitely coming after you. You even throw a pebble at him. But yeah, I fought that same guy, and in a 4-squad setup, and Jesus, he hurt. And the monsters also vary in size. That could change their power outputs too. So again, there's a lot of variety there. I think there's enough to keep everybody interested. Especially if you enjoy co-op games, that's a space where there's not a lot of love. So I think at the very least that makes it worthwhile. It's a game that you could, I know a lot of people are tired of online games, but usually when they say online, they think competitive. But there's another side of online, cooperative. Ooh, I'm about to sneeze. Ooh. Oh. Kitty. Anyway, before we hit that 1 hour mark, that's the main thing I wanted to say. I wanted to plug the game while it's still fresh, while there's still a chance for you to get that cool, early purchase discount through a Game Club or Amazon Prime, whatever you're doing. But ooh, I got a loogie in the throat now. But yeah, we'll talk about it more. There we go. Had to clear that out. Hopefully, War Child will join us and give us his perspective from on his side, he's got on that PS4 port side. But he could share his perspective. Taylor7 says, co-op story-based games. I need them. Borderlands 3. Well, this is a co-op story-based game. Just saying. I know you haven't had a good experience in the past, but I'm really enjoying it. I haven't really found any flaws that made me just get turned off. You know, the game works. The netcode's decent. You know, I haven't seen players drop out of my sessions due to lag, except for once, but it was because the person just had shitty Wi-Fi. Oh, the feel of Monster Hunter never did it for you. Okay, that's fair. I have a friend that's really big on the series, and he said that this was a really big departure from what he's used to. So I don't know how true that is. I can't speak to that. But I don't know. If you ever get bored and have nothing else to play, it might be worth a rental. But folks, this has been your boy Yogizilla. That's how people talk on YouTube. Anyway, this is episode 215 of HorsePLAY Live in the books. Taylor7 says, if I can get it free or cheap, I'll do it. Okay. Hopefully the price doesn't drop that quickly, because that's usually a negative thing. I do hope they do some kind of promo so people could jump on board. Something to sweeten the pot. Maybe if it hits a certain amount of players or wins some kind of arbitrary award, people will pay attention. I would like to have more people to play this with. We got a good group going though. So the way it's worked out, I just jump online randomly and there's been someone on that's playing it, and I'll just jump into their session and we'll just do shit. It's great. Jump right into their session. Let's get going. Unless they make it private, which is a douchebag move. Anywho, Twitch will keep it going. I have to check to see how the streaming on that is. I'm sure there's going to be a really good, strong niche community with that. I said it's fun to watch. Definitely fun to play. I'm curious. I'm going to have to watch some of the streaming to see how other people are experiencing it. So, yeah, I hope it does great. What you doing, kitty? Oh, my God. Blue's being weird. She's going inside of a bag. Boxes and bags. That's what cats love. They don't even bother buying them stuff. Anywho, we'll see you next week. Thanks for tuning in. Love you. And goodbye.